Tonight on the South Today, Dunedin's Forsyth Bar House redevelopment offers an impressive new look over the central city. Time's up for the Southern District Health Board with its final meeting held today ahead of a health sector shake-up. And the government funds a $16 million shortfall for a Christchurch sports facility as costs rise. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. For those wanting to see Dunedin's spectacular scenery, Forsyth Bar House might be the place to go. The recently redeveloped building has a perspective of Dunedin most would be jealous of. It's the best view in the house, Forsyth Bar House that is. The 10th floor of the newly redeveloped building in the upper octagon has $1 million expansive views of Dunedin City from an outdoor deck. It completes a massive transformation of the building, both inside and out, with Forsyth Bar taking up the top 4 floors. The development's a legacy of the late Sir Eon Edgar, who spent nearly 50 years with the investment firm and was a part owner of the building. His efforts have been acknowledged and honoured with a plaque in the building. In Dunedin, the South Today. The Southern District Health Board held its last ever meeting this morning as the country's health system begins its transition to Health New Zealand. Members of the Southern District Health Board met for the final time on Wednesday morning. The majority of members were in person around the table, while others joined online via the Zoom video meeting platform. This DHB signage is set to be consigned to history, with the government scrapping health boards across the nation. The Ministry of Health established an interim organisation called Health New Zealand last September to help drive the development of the government's permanent new health entity. Meanwhile, the Southern District Health Board has cancelled all planned surgeries at Dunedin Hospital due to severe staff shortages. Emergency care is still being provided, but acute and elective surgery is being postponed or cancelled due to a scarcity of staff available to work in operating theatres. It's not known how many patients are affected by the sudden cancellation of their procedures. The DHB says it understands deferring surgery will be upsetting for patients and is committed to ensuring these surgeries are rebooked quickly. Some of the facades of derelict buildings south of Dunedin's exchange area will be inspected to see if they can be made safe. Several buildings on Princess Street have been vacant for years and are now deemed dangerous.
These fences suddenly appeared around a series of empty buildings in Princess Street last week after concerns were raised about public safety. The derelict buildings themselves are in extreme state of disrepair, but some groups are pushing to have the heritage facades inspected to see if they can be made safe. Dangerous building notices were issued to the previous owners, but nothing's been done, with long-standing disagreement about how development might proceed while preserving the area's character. A report has now been commissioned by the Dunedin City Council's Heritage Advisor about legally protecting the facades of these buildings as their backsides crumble away. Engineers say some buildings are in a state of partial collapse, with others at risk if one collapsed. The City Council can take court action if the dangerous building notices are not complied with, including to have remedial work to be carried out at the owner's expense. Chairwoman of the Southern Heritage Trust, Jo Gaylor, claims demolition has been happening through maintenance neglect, which she describes as an appalling situation. She's urging the Council to maintain heritage preservation as a priority. The Christchurch-based building owners have been given 6 months to make the buildings safe. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Dunedin City Council is seeking public opinion on a planned upgrade of the Mornington skate park. DCC Parks and Recreation Manager Scott McLean says they're looking at improving the skate park following consultation on the play spaces plan. More than 70% of people who responded want the City Council to spend more on play equipment for older children, as well as equipment which adults can also play on. The Mornington Skate Park is the first one the Council wants to upgrade, with work due to start at the end of the year. But boarders don't need to worry. The Blood Bucket Bowl, as it's known, will remain. People have until mid-June to share their thoughts on the plans. The government has agreed to fund an extra $16 million for a new Christchurch sports facility after costs spiralled out of control. The price tag for the long-awaited Parakiora Recreation and Sports Centre keeps rising, with the extra money covering increases in materials and shipping costs.
Another of Christchurch's rebuild anchor projects is facing rising costs, but this time the government is picking up the tab. The construction cost of the Parakiora Recreation and Sports Centre has increased by $16 million to $317 million. But that figure is likely to climb as further COVID-related costs are added. The Recreation and Sports Centre bordering Morehouse Ave will be the largest aquatic and indoor sports facility of its kind in New Zealand. It will include a 10-lane, 50-metre pool with seating for more than 1,000 spectators, a diving pool, 9 indoor sports courts and 5 hydroslides. The estimated construction date of the 30,000 square metre facility has been pushed back to late 2023. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whaiakene still to come on the South Today. It's all aboard in Mandeville as the country's train enthusiasts visit the South, and a big muster and celebration of utes goes ahead in Southland.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities,
including little walks.
Spark your joy with Jazz, the next generation from Honda.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Railway enthusiasts got the opportunity to jump on board a train in Mandeville and explore the work of the local railway trust. Members of the Federation of Railway Organisations visited the small town near Gore to check on its progress.
Taking a trip along the tracks from Mandeville to Croydon. Members of the Federation of Railway Organisations were given a journey around the area on Sunday by the Waimea Plains Railway Trust. It's hoping to build support for a heritage railway precinct near the Croydon Aviation Museum. And the invited guests were impressed with what they saw.
It's one of the only two places in New Zealand that has a K-class locomotive built in 1878. They're trying to build an historic railway from rolling stock from that 19th century, and it's probably one of the only places in New Zealand that's doing that at the moment.
FRONZ assists railway trusts around the country in navigating the regulated industry. Around 115 delegates were in Southland for their annual conference held in the district for the first time.
We usually rotate between the North and South Island, and this is the first time we've come this far south. We were invited down by the Waimea Plains Railway, which is one of our 72 members that represents the tourist and heritage railways in New Zealand.
The Waimea Plains Railway Trust is confident it's on track to create the new heritage precinct. The trust already owns a Rogers K92 steam engine, as well as having the loan of a carriage and other heritage rail items. In Gore, the South Today.
An event celebrating the love of utes was held last year in Southland for the first time as part of the Tussock Country Music Festival. And while that event got cancelled this year due to COVID-19, that didn't stop the big muster from going ahead.
Arriving in their much-loved form of transport, around 200 people, many proudly sporting mullets, hopped into their utes and drove to Waimumu at the weekend to celebrate their appreciation of the vehicles. The event near Gore attracted an assortment of utes, with the turnout exceeding the expectations of organisers.
But we think 80 to 90 utes, which is a better turnout than last year, so we like that. There's some great utes come from all around the southern region. Very glad that everybody's turned up in force today with the dogs and the mullets.
The first ever Hokanui Ute Muster was held in 2021 as part of the Tussock Country Music Festival. Unfortunately, that event was cancelled this year due to COVID-19, but organisers were determined to ensure the muster itself still went ahead.
So far so good. Great turnout. We're out here at Southern Field Day Shed. First year that we've had it here in this indoor location. It's wonderful, protected from the wind.
Along with the utes, dogs and rugged hairstyles, the event also raised money to help fund Rural Support Southland.
Love the event actually, and the cause is just awesome. So, like everybody today, mental health is a big thing and we're trying to support that.
And for one ute owner, it's the rugged look to the vehicle which he likes.
Designed to look like it's been outside in the elements all of its life, and I'm not going to get rid of that look. I want to keep it. I love it. I'm not going to fix any dents, and I'm also just going to use it all the time, so it's going to end up with more dents and more scratches, and that's just the way that I like it.
However, it was Wayne Horton's 1976 Holden HX 1-tonner which left as the GWD People's Choice overall winner. In Gore, the South Today.
A Wanaka school has been proudly showing off its brand new facilities. Students, teachers, board members and guests were escorted through the new Mount Aspiring College building this week. School Principal Nicola Jacobson welcomed guests into the new performance, music and technology suites. Representatives from Ngāi Tahu also blessed the new buildings. The $46 million expansion is in its first stage and is aimed at catering for an increase in the school role. Stages 2 and 3 will provide more teaching spaces, a library, a new administration block and a new school entrance. Mount Aspiring College plans to use the new suites later this term. In today's Global Insight, ODT reporter Bruce Munro talks to Professor Robert Patman about China's influence in the Pacific. The international affairs commentator says Australia, the US and New Zealand are all concerned about proposed trade and security deals between China and the Pacific Island nations.
How do the Pacific Island states view this rivalry between the US and China?
They possibly view it as an opportunity. After all, I mean, the United States, New Zealand and Australia largely had the Pacific Island states to themselves for much of the post-45 period. But since 2006, since China has seen its power dramatically enhanced and it's risen to superpower status, it's now beginning to take quite a deep interest in what's a strategically located area, Pacific Island states. So I think that they may well seek to maximise support. And we've seen this with the Solomons already having a security agreement with Australia and has one with China now. And I think as a sovereign state, they, in a sense, may feel that they can maximise support for what would be otherwise very limited resources.
Do you think our government is sensitive to that view?
I think the government is sensitive to this view because we've done it ourselves in a way, the way we've pivoted and balanced our relationship with both two superpowers, China and the United States. But what it does mean, and the message is quite clear, is that if we're going to help the Pacific Island states resist Chinese authoritarian ideas via their economic aid, we need to give them more choices on the ground, which means that we're going to have to step up our assistance and target it at areas where Pacific Island states are very concerned, such as climate change.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Catch us next time on Global Insight. Ka kite anō.
And you can watch the full interview with Professor Patman online at odt.co.nz. E whai ākenei. After the break on the South Today, hard work is paying off at West Gore School with cross-country results exceeding expectations. And is snow on the way for the weekend? We'll check the forecast.
Drop when you every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. A group of West Gore school pupils have benefited from a cross-country academy run at the school recently. The school says the children showed a noticeable improvement in their fitness since last year's cross-country.
And they're off. Pupils from West Gore School were well prepared for their annual school cross-country event this week. The run, held on the Gillies farm in Waimumu, followed a special 6-week cross-country academy run by the HIT studio.
It was quite cool to see the competitiveness with some of them, or the, not competitiveness, but their commitment, I guess, which was cool. And then, yeah, even today we've had a lot of kids coming up saying how much they improved in their places that they've changed from last year to this year, which has been really good.
Fitness instructor Christy Clark put the children through an intensive stretching and warm-up routine to prepare them for the 1 to 2 kilometre race. Associate Principal Rebecca Prattley noticed a big improvement in the fitness of the school's pupils, with many challenging themselves to improve on previous times.
Absolutely, we have had children track their time over a distance of 2 kilometres, and some of them have actually shaved a couple of minutes off their time, which is fantastic.
The senior pupils ran a 2 kilometre course, while the juniors tackled a 1 kilometre event. Prattley says it was great to have a school cross-country run the way it should be, with hills and mud. Cade Lithgow finished first in the 10-year-old boys event.
It was quite hard. We had to do 2K and it was like a round of fun.
And after their race was run, there was time to cool off tired muscles on a water slide. The school says the event helped pupils identify the goals they wanted to reach, putting their best foot forward to achieve them. In Gore, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Dunedin's Forsyth Bar House redevelopment offers an impressive new look over the central city from the 10th floor. The Southern DHB held its last ever meeting today as the sector begins its transition to the new Health New Zealand entity. And the government has agreed to fund Christchurch's long-awaited Parakiora Recreation and Sports Centre with an extra $16 million as costs rise. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect in tomorrow's paper?
We've got quite a bit of good news stories in the paper tomorrow. Interesting one today. Most surgery was cancelled at Dunedin Hospital due to staff shortages.
Yeah.
And I can't give you any indication as to what's going to happen tomorrow because they wouldn't answer our questions regarding that. So, so clearly there's an issue there. But sickness and those sorts of things.
It's the world we're living in right now.
Exactly right. We're all finding that with staff shortages and the like. A former Dunedin teacher who sexually abused pupils for more than a decade has been jailed for more than 2 years today.
Okay.
And another story which has connections to an issue in Christchurch where Thornbury residents in Southland are fed up with the stench of rotting fish polluting their tiny rural village, and they have lost count of the number of times they've made complaints. So there was a place near Christchurch which were having similar issues with pollution around them. So
did they get a result? The Christchurch?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, certainly they're
looking for some change.
They were kicking up quite a stink about it, actually.
Nice, yeah.
Sorry.
The pun is fantastic.
Yeah,
great
thanks,
use.
Thanks. And on a brighter note, we have a Stephen Jackery special on the front page tomorrow. At this stage, anyway, unless something dramatic happens. Of some wildlife in Dunedin at the Tomahawk Lagoon.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Keep an eye out for a photo there. It's very cute, very special. So
he always takes great photos too.
Well, he does, and I think those sorts of things kind of lighten the moment a little bit.
That's what we need right now,
lots
Barry.
of gloom and doom, don't we? So there's a nod to a brighter day.
And what's the last?
In conclusion, we have a story about the cycle trail between Waihola and Mosgiel. Now that's been proposed and but the group have got a fund to work out a feasibility study on that to see if that can work, and that would connect that area to Queenstown. So pretty important next step in the cycle trail.
Continue to say the connection just to make it even that more
all
desirable.
All we need now is a bike.
That's right, maybe an e-bike even.
Well, true, that would probably help. So,
Barry, thanks for sharing this evening. And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, a strong westerly airflow continues over the next few days, getting colder as the week goes on. Low-level snow is on the way for Southland and inland Otago from Friday through the weekend, and coastal near gale force winds. Heading to the top of the South Island first, showers in Nelson tomorrow with gusty nor'westerlies reaching 14 degrees. Heavy rain, thunderstorms and hail on the west coast for Greymouth with a high of 14. And mainly fine with a spot of afternoon rain in Christchurch and a high of 15. To our southern towns now, strong westerlies and showers are on the way. Balclutha, the Catlins and Gore will all reach 9 degrees, while Lumsden makes the perfect 10. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes area, well, more westerlies and showers through here. Wanaka and Queenstown will get 11 as the high, Alexandra 12 degrees minus the showers, and Te Anau gets 9. To the northern towns next, well, mostly fine with those gusty westerlies making their way to the east coast too. Both Timaru and Awamiru head for 13 tomorrow. Gosh, you wish so. Twizel and Marama a bit showery with 11. Down to Dunedin. Showers clearing tonight and a low of 8 degrees. Tomorrow will be mostly fine with high cloud and nor'westerlies. Expect a high of 11 and an overnight low of 7. Friday looks mostly fine with a few early and late showers and a westerly to southwesterly change. Expect a high of 10 and then down to 5. And now to the deep south. Showers tonight in Invercargill with strong westerlies, dropping down to 6 degrees. A mostly cloudy day tomorrow with frequent showers and westerlies, a high of 9 and then down to 2. Lastly, Friday's looking very wintry with hail, thunder and snow flurries, up to just 6 and then as the high and then down to 2 degrees overnight as we head into the weekend. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.